Welcome to the Team Butterfly Effect call. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2015. Thank you so much for calling in. I highly appreciate all of you for not only listening to the recording, but especially for those live who are able to. I understand not everybody is physically able to call in live. However, I highly appreciate it because I love seeing your faces. Okay, somebody. I need to mute. Okay. So, just a couple announcements. I know many of you know this because I've been quite public about it, but I'm leaving on the Team Beachbody Cancun Success Club trip on Tuesday. I'm so excited. This will be the third trip that I've been on with Beachbody. It will be the fourth trip I've qualified for. I didn't go last year because my husband doesn't like to cruise. Wah, wah. But that was a choice we made as a family. It is what it is. However, I'm super stoked because since this is not a pump me up call, but this is good for all of us. I hit 10 by the 10th. So what that means is I have won a photo op at Cancun with some of the celebrity trainers, and that's good for all of us because I hope you're leveraging that we are on pace to be an elite team this year. Not to brag, but in Amanda's VIP group, we all share our elite points every month of where we are, and I'm beating Amanda right now, so I'm sure she'll come around and she'll like blow me out of the water, so don't tell her I was bragging. But Alicia Anatoni, she's going to be one of our guest speakers in the month of May. Alicia Anatoni, the Rockstar presenter, is actually number 101 in the entire company right now, which is crazy cool. I think I'm sitting at 525 within the entire company right now, which I'm still pretty proud of, in the hundreds of thousands of coaches we have. So my main thing is, guys, is whenever we go to these events, there are always announcements and cool things that they share with us. I'm going to do my best to be unplugged, but please do your best to plug into the call after I get home. There will not be a team call next week. Okay, so next week's team call is canceled, but the week after that, we will have a call. Jill Leptoski and I also on her KPI just decided that we are going to be starting another Team Butterfly Effect new coach training on Monday, April 27th. So if you have recruited any new coaches who need to be trained, please save the date, mark that, and share that with your team. Or if you have any current existing coaches or discount coaches who heard about the training, they weren't quite ready, and maybe they've changed their mind or changed their tune, I highly encourage you to reach out to them. Also, one more thing, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't registered for your Super Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, that is coming up the week after we get back from Mexico. Please make sure you do it. And if you are not local to DFW, I can't tell you where your Super Saturday or Super Sunday is going to be, but I know you can find it in the back office. I'm going to put Ann on the spot for a second. I'm going to take her off the phone. I've never had to search, or off of mute. I've never had to search to find my Super Sundays. And from your experience, how did you find yours in Oregon when you moved? Where did you go to locate that?
Washington.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
If you log in and go to the is it news and training,
Mm-hmm.
and then events, and then I think on the left side there's a little it says Super Saturday.
Find a Super Saturday. Okay.
Yep, and you just type in your zip code and it pops up.
Great. Thank you so much for that information. And I apologize. I know you moved to Washington.
I know.
Okay, so I'm going to put you back on mute. All right, so let's get into the meat of today's call. This is especially good for, well, this is a good reminder for existing coaches, but if you are just really starting your business too, this is mainly geared for you guys. I know I feel like sometimes I say the same thing over and over and over again, but they say that if you haven't heard something at least 18 times, that it doesn't stick yet. It's like takes us a child trying a new food 18 times before you can really say if they like something or not. So I probably only said this about 5 times, so it's time to say it again. Today we are talking about branding and attraction marketing. What is that? What is that? Well, first of all, we know what marketing is, right? Marketing is commercials. Marketing is how you sell something. And granted, I know we hate to use the word sell because we share, and that is completely true. But bottom line is when someone buys something off of your website, you're selling it to them, right? No matter how you want to sugarcoat it or whatever, technically we are in sales, even though I prefer to use the word that we are people helpers and coaches. However, okay, so we've talked about how do you market yourself? Well, we use Facebook and we share with what we're doing. We talk about that as a new coach, you want to be posting about what you're doing at least once a day. However, as you move down through your coaching journey, it needs to be more like 3 or 4 times a day. Because if you've gone through the new coach training and you've learned about Facebook affinity, how it works, you have to constantly be posting for people to see your stuff, because not very many people, unless they are your mom, is going to go directly to your page and to see what you were up to yesterday and not have to wait to see if it was in the news feed, right? Not very many people just go directly to your page. They're just scanning through the news. So you have to be posting on a regular basis because you never know when different people are going to be on their computer. Everybody's on at a different time of day. I tend to spend more time at a certain time of day, and Jacob's never on Facebook until after our kids are in bed, so it just depends on when people are on Facebook of when they'll see your stuff. And then whether people are liking or commenting improves on how far it goes up into the news feed on whether they're going to see it. So we know we got to post. That's first and foremost. So that's just marketing in general. So let's just real quick, marketing in general. You're not using beach body terms very often. Every once in a while it's okay to sprinkle it in, but technically, guys, remember, it is illegal to run a business from a Facebook friend page. That's why we encourage you to start a like page, because there really aren't as many rules as far as Facebook with like pages. So we encourage you to have a like page, but regardless or not, if you're marketing on your friend page, which many of us do right at first, you can't look like you have a storefront. You can't be posting your links to your website, because if someone in one of the Facebook people came in and saw your stuff, you could all of a sudden not have a Facebook account tomorrow, which has happened to people before. So how do you go about marketing yourself without actually marketing like a regular person markets? Is you share your journey. You're constantly sharing your journey and what you're doing. So maybe you use the name of your program, but that's when you're sharing about what you're doing particularly, not when you're, what we say, throwing out a net or trying to get a hook of people who are interested with a call to action, right? I have a free clean eating accountability group. Don't use the word challenge group. Don't use the word Shakeology. Maybe use superfood protein shake, okay? Whenever you're posting about wanting people to join your challenge groups. That's marketing. What is attraction marketing? So everybody comes into this business saying, I don't want to sell, I don't want to sell, I don't want to sell. Awesome. I don't want you to sell. I want you to share. So how do you go about doing that? If you've heard of the law of attraction, the law of attraction it's Newton's law, right? Every action has an equal yet opposite reaction. It's science. It's Newton's law. It's not hocus pocus. It's not anything new age, even though new age people may have claimed it for theirs. It's Newton's law. So the law of attraction, or Newton's law, states that what you put out comes back, right? What you put out comes back. So with the idea of attraction marketing, we want to attract people to us so we don't have to sell them, right? Because you finally, hopefully, get to a point eventually in your business where people start coming to you. So how do you do that? You constantly put out information of content. Of content. So what does content mean? It means something that is going to be valuable to someone. You need to give them value. And here's the interesting part, is value is a pretty relative term, right? What one person may find valuable, another person can not care less. Okay? Like if Jacob were to post something about an upcoming festival that is about ready to come to DFW that he just heard about and he's so stoked about, probably there's a big percentage of you guys who wouldn't care. But you know what? There's a big percentage of his friends who's going to be commenting, liking, saying, "Oh my gosh, who's the lineup? What are they playing? Which ones shows are you going to be at that are there?" You know, if he were to put that on his page, that's going to be valuable to his friends because he loves live music and he wants to be friends with people who love live music. That's just a very general basic idea. Okay, so the idea is adding value. So before you can add value, you got to know who you're talking to and who your ideal customer is. Because this is one of the hardest parts when we get right into coaching, is we just want to make Success Club. We just want to sell our first challenge pack. We're so passionate about Shakeology that we just want people to try it. But not everybody is your customer. Not everybody is your customer. Because guess what? There are thousands of Beachbody coaches out there. There are thousands of Beachbody coaches out there. So why is someone going to pick you over somebody else? Why is someone going to pick me over Amanda at the gym? Right? Because we teach at the same gyms. We teach a lot of the same formats. So why would someone pick me over her? Because of our platform, because of our brand. Both of our brands are different. So different people are going to be attracted to different brands. So let's just talk about brands for just a moment. So a brand is what you want to be known for and known by, because you're not marketing Shakeology, you're not marketing the 21-day fix, you are marketing you as a coach and what makes you different as a coach. So say, for example, my brand, and normally we want to narrow it down to approximately 3 things, but within my 3 things are chunks, okay? Like I call it chunks. My 3 things in my brand, chunked together, is fitness and nutrition. Really is one for me. For many people, it's separate. Like one is nutrition, one is fitness, and personal development or whatever. Those are the things that they're interested in. Honestly, guys, I highly encourage you, if you're a Beachbody coach, that those aren't your 3 things. That it's not fitness, nutrition, and personal development. Maybe those are some of your things, but I would encourage you to not make those your only 3 things, or to take a different twist on it. Why? Because that's what Beachbody is. It's nutrition, fitness, and personal development. It's our vital behaviors, right? So if that's what your brand is, guess how many thousands of coaches that's their brand too. You have to distinguish yourself. So for me, fitness and nutrition is kind of in a chunk because it's just kind of like Beachbody general stuff for me personally. My other is spirituality. And within my spirituality, my chunk is spirituality, personal development, and also yoga. Because for me personally, um, I experience my awakenings and my connection to the divine, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it in your terminology. I experience that personally through my yoga practice. Even though it's not my religion, I find that the deepest and my most awakenings during my yoga practice. So for me, that's chunks. Okay. My last chunk is joy and quality relationships. So how do I define those in my posts? So say for example, you want to break down your posts on what is my intention here? What aspect of my brand am I gearing this post towards? And you can have a system if you want to, okay? So every morning, generally speaking, not most of the time, my first post in the morning is something to do with personal development or spirituality or heart expansion, right? Because so many people who are on some sort of spiritual path or have a religious practice, they do those morning devotionals first thing in the morning, right? That's when people connect to their higher power. And that's when I do too. So so I so that's normally whenever I post. However, if I meditated later in the afternoon in the earth and in the grass, I'll share that later. So you're sharing what you're doing, what's also inspirational to you, because you have to remember your ideal customer is a lot like you. So what means a lot to you is hopefully means a lot to them too. So in the morning, I normally post something about something from my personal development or my meditation or just that has been inspirational for me. That's first thing in the morning. Then always at midday, lunchtime, I normally post, it's either a breakdown yoga video or it's something about my food. Honestly, about my food, because it's easy. I eat healthy every day, and so it's an easy post. Take a picture of my food, give and that's valuable for some people, because for some people they don't know where to start with their nutrition. How do I make eating on the go healthy? And I'm always on the go, so mine's always generally in a Tupperware that I prepped before I left the house, and so I'll tell people what I put in there. Or maybe it's a yoga video that I just made because I just got done teaching class. Okay, so I'm speaking to those people who are interested in their practice, in fitness, in nutrition, right there. Okay, and then later in the day, I do my best to always post something about my relationships. So maybe I post something about my kids. Maybe I post something about date night with my husband. Honestly, Jacob, it used to be about human sexuality, because human sexuality I think is a cornerstone to wellness. But Jacob has recently asked me to make it just about relationships and no longer about sexuality. He thinks I'm attracting people I don't need to be attracting, because maybe some people are, I post pictures of me in my bikini on the beach doing yoga, and then I posted something later in the night about go have sex with your husband, or go have some sex. And so he's like, I'm starting to think maybe some people are watching you because they get turned on in a really weird way that they shouldn't be. He's like, so would you please stop that? Absolutely. Yes, I'll stop that. So now it's just about communication and lasting relationships and with your kids. Because that was an emphasis that I had in school, and so I can speak to that. And me personally, my ideal customer, and no dissing people who are who aren't in monogamous relationships, but I relate better to people in monogamous long-term relationships. And I know from experience And I feel like I can speak on authority about it because I've been married for almost 12 years. And I know that doesn't seem like a long time, but for the average American has been divorced and remarried a couple times by the time they're our age, right? So I feel like I can speak on authority about that. Yeah. I feel like I can speak on authority about that because I've done the work. I've gone through the storms with my husband and I've done that. So I feel like I can speak on authority about that with maybe people who are struggling in their marriage, who need a little help in that area. And then so we've talked about primarily my main pillars that I aim towards. But then here's the other thing, guys, is you have to think whenever you're making this, is this speaking to different people, right, that I'm trying to attract? Because maybe your ideal customer isn't exactly like you, but have you even taken the time to identify them? That's my next question. Have you taken the time to identify who your ideal customer is? So if you have a second, just pull out a pen and paper. Pull out a pen and paper real quick. Grab something to write with. And I want you to write these questions down. Good, thank you. Write these questions down, and I'm going to give you a second to answer them. Because I hate just me talking and then it going in one ear and out the other. So we're going to do the work real quick. Here's the first question. If I had to narrow down my brand into 3 things, what would they be? What am I the most interested in that have nothing to do with Beachbody? Now I'm going to give you a second to write on that while I just share. I apologize if I know they won't care. I'm going to use Trisha and Anne, for example, because I see their faces. Trisha's brand particularly has to do, I mean, it's nutrition, but it's a deeper level of nutrition than what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing just nutrition of how to eat healthy and manage on a busy schedule. Trisha's emphasis is like on disease prevention. You know, that's way deeper than that I go. And so she's going to have a different following than I am because maybe she has people who I'm sure she has people who watch her because they've struggled with cancer or maybe some autoimmune diseases or something like that they're needing some more enlightenment on what proper nutrition does. Like, I don't know percentage of what she does about nutrition, and she shows it in her posts. And so, say for example, Anne is her faith and her Christianity is a cornerstone of who she is, and so she's made the choice where she's running her business that way. If you're in one of her challenge groups, you're not only getting a daily post every morning about your workout, but you're also getting a devotional in her challenge groups. So if her avatar or her ideal customer is not my ideal customer and vice versa, you know, my ideal customer isn't necessarily a Christian. She doesn't have to be, it's not that she's not a Christian. She can be a Christian, but I'm not going to provide that kind of food in biblical language like Anne would. Okay. And so on. And Anne's probably not going to provide meditation tips to her challengers. You know, it's the same thing. So what skills do I have that are uniquely different than other people? And how can I promote that? And how can I encourage that to people? Okay, so now write this down. Is my ideal customer or coach like me? And if they are not like me, what aspects of me am I hoping to not attract? So to give you an example, I've gone back and forth about this for a long time because I was a hard sell for Amanda. I was a huge skeptic, and I was trying to decide, did I really want someone like me or not? Because I entered into this business for the wrong reasons at first. So, but then I realized that my ideal customer is like me, but he or she is in transition. They're in transition. I was a hard sell and got into the wrong reasons, but I was in transition because I had just had a baby and I was looking for something else and something new. But the aspect of me that I'm hoping to not attract is the huge skeptic who knows it all, whose ego's big. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who's hungry, who's in transition, who's looking for answers. Okay. I didn't know I was looking for answers. And so that's why I was a hard sell and got into it for the wrong reasons. So, what aspects of yourself are you hoping to attract? Write that question down. What aspects of myself would I like to attract? And as you jot down just a couple answers, I'll share with you mine. I would love to attract another person who's in a monogamous relationship, who has children, who, if they don't have children, they want to have children, um, who 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 may not be a yogi, but who loves to dance and who loves to just have fun and express joy, and who is deep, who's deep and intellectual. I really love that. Okay, I like smart people. Um, so that gives you a general basis. And so when you make your posts for attraction marketing, you're ideally posting for those people. You're posting for them. So what you can do is think in your head of a person who fits into that category and speak to them when you're typing out your post. Literally have that person in your head and write your post to them. How would this post serve that person? And once you do it and you do it consistently, it starts to work. It doesn't work overnight. This is the hard part. This is the tricky part. Is you have to be disciplined at doing it regularly on a daily basis, 3 to 4 times a day, only one of those being about health and nutrition primarily. I mean, if you're like Trisha, maybe more than that, because that really is her solid brand. Okay, but only once about like nutrition and fitness, because people want to know that you're more than that, and they want to know what it is that they're coming to. And be consistent, because I need to share with you, she's not on the phone right now. She texted me and said that she had a family emergency come up she needed to deal with. But Debbie, I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch, but Debbie, my coach that I just signed this past week, she found me. She found me. And her comment to me was I've been thinking about doing something to get myself in shape for a while now, and I really like the way you present yourself on social media. I like the way you market yourself on social media, and I would love to know how you do that and what you're doing so I can do the same, to not only help other people, but to boost my massage business, because she's a massage therapist. And so literally, once you start practicing attraction marketing on a regular basis, you're not spending as much time finding people. People are finding you, because the people who are looking for what you have to offer are looking. So you need to speak to them, and you need to give them something valuable to know that you're the right choice for them, and that it's going to be a good relationship. So we're technically at time, 1 minute past. I hope that made sense. I tend to, when I don't go off of a PowerPoint presentation, I tend to bounce all over the place sometimes. So I hope that was valuable to you. So 3 to 4 times a day posting, guys. And Anne is saying, I still have trouble deciding what posts go where, personal or like page. You know, everybody's completely different on this philosophy, but Amanda and I have had a lot of discussions about this, and both of us are getting to a point now where we post 1 time a day on our like page or on our friend page about kind of our workouts, just so people remember and know that that's something we do. The majority of our stuff goes on our like page, and the majority of the stuff that goes on my friend page is my life. Stuff about my kids, stuff about my family, stuff about what I'm doing. All right, so you want to still have a presence on your friend page, but you want to speak to your avatar or your ideal customer primarily on your like page. If you're doing a lot of business there, okay? But if you're running ads and then you're driving people to your friend page, you still need to let them remember at least once a day that you do what you do. That helps? Honestly, there's no magic formula. There's no magic formula. And at least post 1 time a day, guys, where it's actually going to get a lot of responses. Even if it's just a random silly question. Asking people's opinions always gets a lot of responses. It's going to get you higher in the news feed. So, anything else before we go? Nothing else? Anybody just have some really crazy, awesome, anything they want to share? Something really great? No? Okay. So don't forget, guys, we are going to be doing a new coach training that last week of the month, and I'm looking at maybe doing a new coach open house, another open house, probably the week after that, or sometime mid-May. So let me know if you would like to be involved in that. It's always better if we come together as a team in order to not just have, if I did it, there'd just be like one person in there, so there'd be multiple people. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. As we're getting into the summer, I'm wanting to get my calendar all like dialed down, so I want to get some stuff on the agenda. So Anne, would you do me a favor when you get a chance and message me and remind me again of when you're going to be in town, so we can plan a team something when you're going to be in town? And otherwise, and if you guys, Summit's going to be here around the corner. So if you're trying to be at a particular rank before summer or before Summit, I say push, push, push. Trisha, you and Erica get you that diamond. I guess you're not going to be there. I just made a commitment to my family that I'm going to be get Jacob to diamond by the end of the month. So we'll see.
I need a roommate.
Huh?
So I need
what?
Female.
Say that, Ann.
I need female roommates for Summit.
You need female roommates for Summit. Okay. Well, hey, reach out to Wendy. Reach out to Wendy Cordero. She's one of my coaches. She's staying at the Marriott. I don't know if her husband's going or not. Okay. Awesome, guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.
Bye.